Hey YouTube fam, thanks for stopping by. Today I'm going to take you to the beautiful city of Lyon, France, give you a tour around the city, tell you some things I think you should definitely see, and give you some advice for things I think you should maybe consider skipping. Let's get into it. So here we are in Lyon. We have the river behind us. It is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to tilt this up so you can kind of see it. Absolutely amazing, absolutely beautiful. I love the city already. So we got 5 days here, so let's see how it goes. I think you can probably do it in less than 5 days, but we got 5 days to explore. Let me show you what I'm looking at because it's really cool. Right? This is just gorgeous. I just love when cities come into focus, right? All right, so behind me is the Basilica. Once you get to the top of the hill, there's a restaurant here. There's all kinds of cool stuff. There is a welcome center. There's a lot of kids hanging out, having fun. I'm gonna go show you guys, but I have a feeling that this is gonna be one of the best views of Lyon, and it's completely free. I'm just debating whether I wanna pay money to go up the 300 and something stairs to get to the top of the Basilica. Maybe not, because that looks like a lot. So let's take a look around. Oh, lots of cool stuff. See, restaurant and welcome center. But from here, the cool thing about it is you realize how big of a city Lyon is, which I think is kind of awesome. You can see the two rivers, and you basically get a complete view of the city, which is super cool. This is totally worth the hike up. You get up here, and you're at Basilica. So after you check out the Basilica, I highly recommend checking out the Roman ruins. There are 2 Roman ruin sites right next to each other on Fouviere Hill. There are actually 3 tall Roman ruin sites in Lyon, but the 3rd is now basically a food truck site. It's really not worth seeing. It's kind of on the opposite side of town. So unless you happen to be there anyway and go, oh, those are Roman ruins, it's really not worth seeing. But the ones on Fouviere Hill are really cool. They're still actively used to this day for concerts and for things of that nature, so they're active venues. So that to me makes it cool. You could probably you got about a 5-minute walk, maybe 10 from the Basilica tops, and you could probably spend as little as 15 to 20 minutes in the Roman ruins and feel like you took it in. Or if you want to do what I did, which is really take your time, you could spend an hour. All right, so we are above the Roman ruins. These, I believe, are from about 50 years after Christ. This is a theater. There's 2 theaters here actually. The big theater houses me is 10,500 people, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to show you guys a view from above because it's pretty inspiring actually. So let's take a look at that. You get a nice view going back of the Basilica from here, right? It's a short walk, so I recommend doing them on the same day. You continue with a nice view of Lyon. You can see all the rivers from here, but going down, let's go down and zoom in. Get a really nice view of the ruins, I think, from up top, which is pretty cool. As you can see,
they're actually setting up for a concert. So this is still actively used today.
All right, so continue our tour. You can see the Fouviere Basilica behind us, with Roman ruins. Super cool. Again, about 50 years, I believe, after Christ. This particular was built, housed about 10,000 people during an event. They still use it for concerts today. I think you caught the soap. So it's really, right, impressive. I mean, you're looking at a structure that, when they say they don't build them like they used to, is your house gonna last 2,000 years? Maybe. Somehow I don't think so. After you tour the amazing ruins, you kind of have two options. I hiked up Fouviere Hill, which meant that by the time I was done with that, I was kind of done for the day, right? It was, I actually counted, I took the stairs up, it was 56 flights of stairs. That's a lot. So by the time I did that, toured the Basilica and toured the ruins, I walked down, I had lunch, and I called it a day. You could do Fouviere Hill in half a day, and Old Town in half a day, if you skip some of the things to do in Old Town, just kind of toured the area, right? Walked around, saw it, and call it a day. So that's up to you. I'm gonna make Old Town a second day, but I'm gonna show you a quaint street in Fouviere that I walked down, and I just kind of walked around Fouviere for maybe another hour or so, went and have lunch and called it. So I'm gonna walk you down the street and then we'll go to day two. Okay, so I already stopped filming. That's kind of pretty, right? You got the nice juxtaposition of the old brick and stone. The cobblestone streets I still love, right? I don't know if you can really see it, but that's kind of cool. It's hard for me to see if it's really getting what I'm trying to do. There we go. Let's see. We'll know. So I spent day two in Old Town, which was probably my favorite part of Lyon. It's an UNESCO World Heritage Site, and I can see why. It's beautiful, it's got a lot of things to see, and my favorite part was probably the Traboule search. So Traboules are these kind of secret, and I say secret in quotes, passageways. There are over 400 of them in Lyon, and they can be very small or they can be a little bit elaborate. I'm gonna take you on the longest one. It's not that long, but it's pretty cool. They have a rich history. They were originally used by silk merchants as a way to get around town without being, bugged, particularly the wealthy, right? And then more importantly, and kind of more interesting to me, they were used during World War II by the French resistance. They were used to hide Jews from the Germans. They were used to effectively, move around without the Germans seeing the French freedom fighters. So I went on Traboule search because that to me was just fun to find them, and they are on Google Maps, and so they are very findable. I had lunch at a Bouchon. So Bouchons are older restaurants or restaurants that follow a very strict tradition. They are normally very reasonably priced and have very hearty meals. And so it is a big heavy meal. They were eaten, or I'm sorry, they were a favorite of like peasant type workers who worked in the silk trade, etc., who couldn't afford to eat in the nicer restaurants. Bouchons were kind of their thing. So there's also the Cinema Museum and some other stuff which I'm going to take you through as we go. But let's start by looking at Old Town. I'm just going to take you on a walk, and then I'll start taking you through my day and seeing the sights as I did it. So as we walk, this is Old Town, right? It's just super cute. It's obviously very touristy, but it's still super, super cute. And yeah, all right, so lots of cafes. I'm looking for one in particular. We'll see if we hit it. So we're about to do our first Traboule. Super stoked to do that. That's where we're going to do lunch at one of the Bouchons. Very nice thing to do, but let's do it. I'm excited. What's behind the door? Look at the sign. So it's basically telling you to be quiet. So we'll be super quiet. This is an ancient network of tunnels and passageways that connect to the city. And you can see if you look up, people who live here. However, it is a tourist attraction. 40 of these are open to the public, even though there are approximately 400 of them throughout the city. So,
we shall see what we have. It's kind of cool, gotta say. So Lyon has a rich history of marionettes / puppets and cinema. The motion picture camera was invented here, hence the Cinema and Miniature Museum. And of course, given my favorite movie as a kid was Ghostbusters, I'm totally stoked to be in, see a real proton pack, and a trapper. So that's really cool, and how they did the movie. So that's kind of a cool thing to see at the museum.
For my third day, I spent the day around the Hotel DeVille, Terreaux, and Museum of Fine Arts area. The plaza for Hotel DeVille is lovely. It has water fountains, it has sculptures, it has art. It is really a fantastic place. My favorite piece that I'm going to show you is by the same person who did the Statue of Liberty. And so I was mesmerized by this particular water fountain. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Apparently there's an interesting story about that water fountain. It wasn't originally supposed to go to Lyon, and they kind of stole it from another city. There's a whole thing about it. So before you go, I'm not going to tell you the story, just Google it, you'll see. The Museum of Fine Arts had some lovely pieces. Obviously it's not the Louvre, it's not something you'd see in Paris. But is it good? Yeah, it's still a really good, impressive museum. So I think it's worth going to see. I'm going to show you inside there. You can spend, again, about a half day, or you can really take your time and make a day of it. I chose to make a day of it. After that, I went to Place Bellecour. I'll be honest with you guys, Place Bellecour really did not impress me. I understand that it's the largest Renaissance square in Europe. And that's awesome. Today, it looks like a parking lot without cars. It's really just not that cool. I don't know why. I didn't really care for it. I thought it was a waste of my time, but I'm showing it to you. It's on every tourist list, so you can walk there and see the whole thing in about 10 minutes. So you might want to just check the box, right? Even though I'm gonna do a whole video on not checking the box, you might just want to check the box. So that was my next day. So we're at Hotel DeVille and the plaza surrounding it. I gotta tell you, this is way cooler than Place Bellecour. Super much cooler. There's the opera here, there is the Hotel DeVille, there's this lovely park with sculptures, there's all kinds of restaurants. Like, this actually makes sense as to why you would want to come here as opposed to the parking lot that is not a parking lot that is Place Bellecour. I understand Place Bellecour is the largest Renaissance square in Europe, but it's a parking lot, basically. So without any cars, no cars, just it's a large square, opening, empty space with concrete. Who cares? This is actually cool and has stuff worth seeing. So let's look around. So you can already see we have the sculpture behind me. We're kind of approaching the cooler part of it, right? Which is the old buildings. Oopsies, that's a lot of bumping around. There were stairs, sorry. Yeah, so that's kind of cool, right? Alright, so we are at Hotel DeVille, which is absolutely beautiful. The plaza is really cool, right? Because as you can see, You've got kids playing in fountains, which I think is super cool. You have lots going on here, right? So you have all these cool things happening around the plaza. I absolutely love this fountain over here. The sculpture fountain, whatever you call it, right? Like, this may be one of my favorites I've seen so far. Let's get a closer look, actually. So, we'll go over there. I'm not sure what it is. I'm gonna have to Google it. I'll let you guys know by the time I get to post. I'll have figured it out. But it's just beautiful. This is my idea of really super cool, right? Like, I just love the way this looks. I love it how it comes out. I love the water feature of it. And as we go around, see more of the plaza. You just see all around. It's just a pretty place, right? So I'm at Musee Beau. We did not buy a ticket online, so oopsies, let's hope they let us in. If not, we'll come back tomorrow. But they have this lovely courtyard, which people are just taking a rest and having a break, and that's really nice. It's pretty, it's quaint, it's quiet. I really like it. And there's sculptures and, you know, typical French garden, so it's cool. So we are at Place Bellecour, the city center, in a way that a lot of the tourist sites tell you that is ground zero for your visit. It is a very old, very large square. Apparently it's the largest Renaissance square in Europe. I'm not quite sure why I should care about that. To be honest with you, I'm just going to tell you my impression. Who cares? Why am I here? What's there to see? What's there to do? I'm not seeing anything that has of any interest to me whatsoever. For a fourth day, I actually did something because I got a deal. And you guys know I love saving €5. I don't know why 5 to 10 euro savings will make me do things I otherwise wouldn't do, but I'll do it. So the Confluence Museum is out of town, but it's at the confluence of the Soane and Rhone. So I was able to, for I think 25 or 30 euro, take a boat ride along the Soane. I think it was it was along the Soane to the Confluence Museum, spend the day at the Confluence Museum, and then come back. It's only available on Sundays, the deal, unfortunately, because it's really cool actually. So this might have actually been one of my favorite things because I really enjoyed the boat ride. I know that's cheesy, I know it's a very touristy thing, but it's a nice way to see Lyon. It's a nice way to see a lot of the city sights without having to actually, get up and look around. And it gives you a different perspective on it, right? And there's something to me about being on the boat of a historic city where, at one point this was a Roman trading post because of its strategic position along the rivers. So I think that that's really kind of cool. And being on a boat, thinking about what it was like to be a mariner during the Roman Empire, traveling those rivers is kind of cool and kind of fun, right? The Confluence Museum, you'll see my commentary. Is it a great museum? No, it's not. Apparently people love this building. To me, it looks like a modern US warship got grounded and it's just hanging out there. That's what it looks like to me. But I can see the allure, I can see why people think it's such a cool structure. it's worth seeing. That's kind of my take. It's worth seeing. The museum itself, the thing it does really well is it blends science and humanities. And I particularly enjoyed, for example, the exhibit on love and love throughout cultures, but it also incorporates our biological response that we know is love, right? And so it talks about the science of love, and it talks about the intangible part of love. And I thought that was a really cool way to present it. And they did a lot of topics that way, so that I enjoyed. But again, what's your time at the Musee? 2 hours tops.
All right, so we are sailing along the river on our way to the Confluence Museum. We got on the small boat. There's only 4 of us. Nobody wants to do this tour apparently to the Musee. Even though maybe it's because online they don't say necessarily good things about the Musee. But when you talk to locals, they say great things about the Confluence Museum. Well, it's kind of hard to see if you're getting this because it's dark, but this is clearly the more modern part of Lyon, right? The Confluence. I think that's the Musee over there that we can kind of see peeking through. But it's a lot more modern architecture, a lot more modern buildings, right? This is where things are getting built new. All right, so we are at the Confluence Museum. We're visiting the temporary exhibits. The temporary exhibits to me seem to be more interactive. This particular one is on love and our expression of love and how difficult that is. So I'm going to take you on it and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, let's see what happens. You see the heart-shaped entrance. It's an interactive museum. It's exploring the expression of love worldwide. So it should be interesting, right? You can see love written in so many different languages, spoken in so many different languages, right? This universal concept is their point, that it transcends all of humanity. It goes to people, goes to objects, goes to other animals. I told my dog I loved him twice before I left today. So, we'll see. Love is universal. Maybe it's one of the only things that's universally human besides, eating, breathing, sleeping. I don't know. The whole exhibit is interactive. I like to give you my thoughts on the temporary exhibits. I thought the temporary exhibits were pretty cool. I like the very interactive nature of them. I thought that was kind of fun. I like that they had a lot of things for you to touch, feel, see, microscopes to look at, etc. So I was pretty impressed with that. It kind of made it fun. So it's kind of more between an adult museum and a kid museum. I like the fact that it touched on the humanities as much as it touched on hard science. I thought that was really cool, the blending of the two. So now we've seen that beautiful view, let's move on. All right, so being a museum that concerns itself with both science and humanities, this museum not only has fossilized bones from dinosaurs, etc., but it also has origin stories of death, origin stories of life, and the science blended in, which is kind of cool, I have to say. I'm kind of enjoying the blend of humanities and actual science. It also has other pieces that have symbolic nature through humanities, right? So I'm enjoying that about the museum. And I think that's kind of a cool blend. So far, my recommendation is spend less than 2 hours here. But we'll see. I'm just now entering the permanent collections. I've already been through death, and now I'm at the origins of life. So we'll see how that goes. There's some cool stuff in here. I will say that. So we'll see.
So I hope you guys like this video format. If you did, let me know, because I've never done this long of a video before. I've always taken you to individual sites. But I thought this was kind of more fun, and it's kind of bringing you along on my trip with me, which I think is a lot more fun than just going to one site, giving a commentary, then going to another site and showing you paintings, because I can't show you everything, right? And so this gives you kind of the overview, so if you go see it yourself, you know what to explore. So my overview of Lyon is, I really liked Lyon. I think it was a really pretty city. I like the people, I like the culture, I liked the gastronomy, I liked the food, I liked the museums that I went and saw for the most part, right? Obviously, again, not Paris. It's not gonna have the same quality as Paris, but it was still good. And they weren't crowded. That was a nice part. I think Lyon is definitely a city worth visiting for 3 days. And that's what I would do if I did it again. And I only had a limited amount of time, I would say 3 days is a perfect trip. For me, I love the long visit because I like having nothing to do for part of a day, so I can just relax. So for me, 4 days would have been perfect. I was kind of bored on day 5, going, what do I really want to do? So that is my take on Lyon. If you guys like this video, at any point you can hit the watermark and it will subscribe you to my channel. But please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It tells you, the YouTube algorithm, that you like it, and it helps me promote the channel to others. So thank you so much for watching. Take care.